Hello viewers. So today we just have a simple task which is just evaluating trigonometric functions. That's what we will look at. So for this type of questions, we don't use a calculator. So here we just deal with special angles. So those you can deal with them without using a calculator. So that's the level of mathematics that we deal with. So you need to be familiar with the following things. So number one, you need to know what special angles we use. So the common special angles that we use, we have 30 degrees, 60 degrees. Okay, so I have 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees, and also we have 180 degrees, 270 degrees, and a 360 degrees. So we just focus on these positive special angles. We have also 720 as a special angle, but for our level we just look at these special angles. They are the ones that you need to know. So now starting with 45 special as a special angle, this one we have a right angle triangle here. So if you say here it is 45, even there it is 45. So this side, if it's 1, even here it is 1. Using Pythagoras theorem here, you're going to get root of 2. Then 30 degrees and 60 degrees, these will handle them on just one right angle triangle. So this is our right angle triangle that we have. So if we put 30 here, this other side is what? 60 degrees. So this side is 1, this side is 2, this side is root of 3. So for this, we'll be using SOHCAHTOA to handle that. So I'll be using SOHCAHTOA there. Then also we are remaining with that is 90, 180, 270, and 360. So for this, we'll do the graph. So say the graph for y equals to cos x. So this is the graph for cos. So the graph for cos, maybe I should start with the graph for sine. So we have the graph for y equals to sine what x. So this is the graph for sine. So here we have a 1. This side, this is a -1. This is a 0. So here this is a 90 special angle, 180. Then this is 270. This is 360 special angle. Okay. So the graph for sine will always start at 0. So to start at 0, then it goes up, it goes down, it goes 9. It goes there. So when you draw, this becomes the graph for what? The graph for sine. Then now the other graph that you need to know, it is the one for cos what? It is the one for cos. So the graph for y equals to cos x. So for this graph, it will be like this. So here we have a positive 1. This is a -1. So here we have a 90 degrees. Here we have 180 degrees. Here we have 270 degrees. Then here we have a 360 degrees. So this is a 0. So here the graph for cos always starts at 1. So it will start at 1. It goes at 0. It goes to -1. It goes back to 0. It goes to 1. So it will start at 1 and also end at 1. So this is our graph. Then the last graph that you need to be familiar with, it is the one for tan x. This is just a sketching that we're doing. So the graph for tan goes like this. Okay, so this is 90 degrees. This is a 0. Then this is 180 degrees. This is 270 degrees. This is 360 degrees. So here we need to sketch this our graph. So the graph for tan will only be defined at 180 degrees and also at and also at 360 degrees, and also at 360 degrees, meaning that when you say tan 180 degrees, you should be able to get a 0, and also tan 360 is equal to 0. So that's the key that we use for trigonometric functions. So now, meaning that this is the tool that we use. So like when you look at our first equation, which is question number 1, so our question number 1 is saying find the exact value of v. So this is question number 1, which is saying find the exact value of that is sine squared, then this is 45 degrees, then plus this is cos, then squared what 60 degrees. Okay, so cos squared is 60 degrees. This is what we have. So now for this one, what we're going to do is sine squared 45 can be written as sine what 45 degrees, then you square like this, then that can also be written as cos what is 60, that is degrees, then you square like that. Remember now sine 45, that's a special angle, so we can find sine what, we can find sine 45. So this is the right angle triangle for 45, the first one. So meaning that sine 45, it is the opposite of hype. So for 45, opposite is the same as the adjacent, which is a 1, just for 45. So now we know that now our opposite is 1. Then our hype, it is always the longest side here. Even there, the hype is there. So now, meaning that for sine 45, it is 1, which is the adjacent. Hype is root of 2. So we are saying sine 45, it is 1 over what? Root of 2. Then now we are going to square this. Then we're going to say plus. Then we move to cos 60 degrees. So for cos 60 degrees, 60 degrees is on this our special angle that we have. So this is where we have a 60 degrees. So this means that now since we are looking for cos 60, so cos is adjacent over hype by using SOHCAHTOA. So if 60 degrees is here, the side which is adjacent to 60 is a 1, then our hype is 2. So cos 60 is 1 over 2. So cos 60, we have 1 over 2, then this will be a squared there. So now this can be simplified as 1, that is over what, root of 2 times 1 over what, root of 2, because of the squared. So that power, it is for whatever you have inside the square root. Even here to be 1 over 2 times 1 over a 2. So 1 times 1, you have 1, then root of 2 times root of 2, a 2. Then 1 times 1, 1. 2 times 2, that's a 4. The common denominator here to be 4. So you say 2 into 4, that's a 2 times 1, you have a 2. Then 4 into 4, that's a 1 times 1, 1. So this will give us 3 over 4 as the answer. Okay, now moving to part 2. So moving to part 2. So part 2 is saying that we have sine, that's a pi over 3, then plus, that is cos, that is pi over a 6. So the question is asking us to find the exact value of this our function as well. So when you look at this our function, we have the angles that are in radians. So first you convert the angles to degrees. So of pi over 3. So this will be 180 degrees over a pi. So pi and pi cancels. Then you have 180 divided by 3. That's a 60 degrees. So this can be written as sine what is 60 degrees. Plus then cos pi over 6. So pi over 6. So we change this. This is 180 degrees over pi. So we have 180 divided by 6, that's what, a 30. So now here we have cos what, 30. So we can see that all these are special angles. So we need to find the first one is sine 60 degrees. So 60 degrees is on this our second right angle triangle. So sine 60 is the opposite over hype. So if 60 degrees is here, the side which is the opposite to 60 is root of 3, then I put 2. So sin 60 degrees, it is root of 3 over a 2, then plus, we move to cos 30. Cos 30 is here, so cos is adjacent over hype. So if 30 is here, the side which is the adjacent, it is root of 3, then hype is 2. So we have root of 3 over 2. Then here, we need to find the common denominator, which will be 2. So 2 into 2, 1 times root of 3, root of 3. Then 2 into 2, 1 times root of 3, root of 3. So this will give us 2 root of 3 over a 2. 2 and 2 cancels, we have root of 3 as the answer there. So that's what we have. So now moving now to part 3. So for part 3, what we have is cosec. That's cosec pi over a 6. Then plus that is sec. Then you have a pi over 3. So how do we find the exact value of this? So to find the exact value of this, what we're going to do first is we are going to say we need to convert these angles to degrees. So if you remember pi over 6, you say 180 degrees over what? A pi. So pi and pi cancels. We have 180 over 6, that's a 30 degrees. So here we have that is cosec, that is 30 degrees, plus sec is 1 over what? Sec is we have sec pi over 3, so we have pi over 3. So this is we multiply with 180 over a pi, so pi and pi cancels. So you have 180 divided by 3, that's 60 degrees. So here we have sec what? 60 degrees. So this is what we have. So now we know the identity for sec is 1 over what? Sine. So it will be 1 over sine 30 degrees there. So it will be 1 over sine 30 degrees plus 1 over sec. Sec is 1 over cos. So the angle is 60 degrees. So now this will give us 1 over sine 30. 30 is here. So when we talk of sine 30, it's the opposite over hype. So if 30 is here, the side which is the opposite, it is 1, then hype is 2. So we can see that sine 30, it is 1 over 2. So to write this, we can write it this way. So now we're going to say we have 1 divided by sine 30 is 1 over 2 plus 1 divided by, we need to find cos 60 degrees. So cos 60, this is our second right angle triangle. So cos is the adjacent over hype. So if 60 is here, the adjacent is 1, then hype is 2. So cos 60 degrees is 1 over 2. So 1 over 2. So here to be 1. The moment you introduce a multiplication symbol, you have 2 over 1 plus 1. The same here, 2 over 1. So I have 1 times 2, 2 over 1, 2. 1 times 2, 2 over 1, 2. So the answer becomes a 4. So that's how you handle that. So now we now move to part 5. So for part 5, there are double angle identities that you need to know. So the double angle identities that we use, we have the first one. We'll start with sine. So we have sine open. This is a plus what? B. So when we distribute this, it will be sine A, then cos what? B, then plus here it will be cos A, then that is sine what? B. So that's what we have. Then again we have sine open. This will be A minus B. So this will give us what? Now you distribute sine again, so it will be sine A, that is now cos what b. Since you are subtracting, you maintain, then you start with cos this time around, so it will be cos a, then you end with sine what b. The other one, it is for cos, so of course open, this is a plus b, so this will give us, when you distribute, so for cos it will be cos, so it will be cos a cos b. Then since we are subtracting, for cos you change the sign there, since we are adding here you subtract, then you start with now sine a, then sine what b. Then the other one, it is when you are subtracting, that will be cos, that will be a minus what b, so this will be cos a cos b. Then here you add because they are subtracting, so now this will be sine what a, then sine what b. Then the second last one, it is for tan, so you have tan a plus what b, so this will be tan what a plus now tan what b, that is over 1 minus we have tan a, then tan what b. Then the other one, it is when you are subtracting, the last one, so it is tan a minus b, so this would be tan a minus what b, the minus tan b, so tan a minus what that is tan b, over down it will be 1 plus, so this will be tan a, then times tan what b. So basically these are the identities that we'll be using to answer these questions that we have. So as you can see, we have our part 4. So for part 4, we can see that what we have is sine, that is 37 degrees cos 7 degrees here, minus, that is cos 37 degrees sine 7 degrees there. So what you can see is we have the first angle, which you say this is a, the second angle is b, this is a, the second angle is b, it's just the same. So you look at what you are starting with, we are starting with a sine, so it will be sine open, this will be a. So for a, if you are subtracting, remember when you compare, so for sine, we can see that here we are starting with sine, so the identities that are starting with sine are you have the first one and the second one. Since here we are subtracting, you pick the second one, meaning that here you are going to say minus b, that's what you are going to do. So this is the same as this sine, then the first angle is 37 degrees minus the second angle 7. So now this will give us sine, okay, then 37 minus 7 to give us a 30 there. So sine 30, now you move to this now. So now we need to find our sine 30 degrees. So this is a right angle triangle which has a 30. So sine 30 is the opposite over hype. So if 30 is here, the opposite is 1, then hype is 2. Okay? So of 1 over what? 1 over 2. So we can see that sine 30, it is actually what? 1 over what? A 2. So that one becomes the answer. Then now we move to the other part. So the other part is saying, that is part so maybe let me create this space, I will rewrite this identity when we're done with this. So we have that is part 5 now. So part 5 is we have that is cos 80 degrees, then cos 20 degrees, plus then this is sine 80 degrees, then sine what 20 degrees. That's what we have here. So from this point now, what we're going to do is since we are starting with cos, meaning that cos will start, remember this will be a, this will be b, the same here, this will be a, this will be b. So what will be guiding is just the first part. So since you are starting with cos, Remember now, when you look at the identity for cos, we have two of these. So since here we are subtracting, so I mean since here we are adding, so it is the same as in this one, the last one. So meaning that here you subtract, so it will be what? It will be A minus what? B. So now this will give us, that will be cos the first angle 80 degrees minus the second angle, which is 20. So here when you say 80 minus 20, we have 60 degrees. So now cos 60 degrees is adjacent over hype. That's cos 60 degrees. So 60 is here, the side which is the adjacent is 1, then hype is 2. So cos 60 degrees, it is 1 over 2. So now move to the next question. So the next part is part number 6. So part number 6, we have sine 51 degrees, then 39 degrees there, then that is plus, we have cos 51 degrees, then now sine what? 39 degrees. So now this will give us sine open, then this is A. I'm supposed to write this, so forgotten a sign here. Okay, so we have sine 51 degrees, then cos 39 degrees, and plus this is cos 51 degrees, sine what? 39 degrees. So this is A, this is B. So we are starting with sine. So meaning that it will be A, since you are adding for sine, if you are adding here, you also what? You add. So meaning that this is sine, the first angle will be 51, that is plus, then 30 what? 9. So now this is sine 51 plus 39, that's what? 90 degrees, which is, you move to the graph, that's where we have a 90. So here you are moving, you're checking for the graph for what? Because we are looking for sine 90. So the graph for sine is the first one. So we can say that sine 90, the graph is at 1. So sine 90 is a 1 there. So we can see that sine 90, we have a 1. Then we move to that is part I'll skip some other things, just a repetition. So we move to part 8 now. So we have that is cos 130 degrees, then cos 40 degrees, that is plus, then here we have sine 130 degrees, then sine what? 40 degrees. So we're starting with cos. So A, this is B, then this one is A, then this one is B. So the first angle is 130 degrees. So for cos, if here we are adding, for cos here you subtract, so 40 degrees. So now we can see that we have cos open 130 minus 40, that's 90 degrees. And we can see that for cos 90 now, you are going to get this from the graph for cos. So the graph for cos at 90, because we are finding cos 90, so at 90 we have a 0. So meaning that cos 90 here, it is equal to what? It is equal to a 0. Then now we can do, that is part 10. So for part 10 now, those are the identities for tan. So let me just put them on top there. I've skipped some other questions. So for part 10, remember for tan I wrote those. So we have tan open. So this is A plus what? B. So this now, when you distribute, it is tan open. This will be A plus what? B. So that's what we have. No. So you're distributing, so it will be tan A plus B. So this will be tan A plus what? Tan what? B. That is over 1 minus, then this will be tan A, then we have tan what? B. The last one, it is when you are subtracting, so it will be A minus B. So now this will be equal to what? That is tan, then A minus what? Tan what? B. Then that will be over 1 plus, so this will be tan what? A. Then we have tan what? B. So that's what we have there. So now for part 10, what we have is that is tan 69 degrees plus 66 degrees. I mean plus tan 66 degrees. That is over 1 minus tan 69 degrees. Then tan what? 66 degrees. That's what we have. So to evaluate this, you are going to say this is tan. Just look at the top. This is A, this is B. So since we are adding, it will be the first identity that we are going to use here. So it will be A plus B. So it will be A plus what? B, which can be written as tan open. A is 69 degrees plus 66, that is degrees. So here this is the same as, so 69 plus 66, we have 135 what? Degrees. So that's a special case, because this now angle that we have now, it is not a special angle. So therefore, when you have such kind of a situation, you look for two special angles. You can either add them or subtract them, then you should get 135. So from the list of special angles that I gave, if you have a 5 at the end, 45 has to be there. So it will be 45 now. It will be 45 plus, let's try 90. Yeah, it will be 45 plus what? 90 to give us 135. But now the challenge will be when you distribute, since you are adding, it will be tan what? 45 plus what? Tan 90 degrees. Then you are going to say over, that will be 1 minus tan 45 degrees. Then tan 90 degrees. So tan 45, yes, we can find. How about tan 90? So when you go to your graph, you can see that tan 90, this is the graph for tan. At 90, the graph will be undefined. So tan 90 is math error. So that's why we can't use this one now. So we need to use other special angles. 90 has failed. So meaning that now this can be now done. We can try 180 degrees minus 45 degrees. So when you say 180 minus 45, it will give you 135. So now we distribute, because now we have tan open. This is 180 degrees minus what? 45 degrees. So you use the second identity that you can see there. So when you distribute, this will be tan 180 degrees. That is minus, we have tan what? 45 degrees. Then we are going to say over 1 now plus, that will be tan what? 180 degrees tan what? 45 degrees. So now this one now will give us tan 180. You go to the graph for tan. That's what you do. So you go to the graph for tan, and you can see that from our graph for tan 180 is 0. The graph is cutting at 0. So you indicate to say no, here it is what? A 0. Minus 45. How do we find tan 45? You move to this one. So tan 45 is the opposite of adjacent, which is 1 over 1, which is just a 1. So here we have a 1, then over 1 plus tan 180 we found a 0, so we say times tan 45 we found a 1. So 0 minus 1, it will be negative 1 on top, then down it will be 1 plus 0 times 1, that's 0. So this is negative 1 over 1 plus 0, 1. So negative 1 over 1, we have a negative 1. So we can see that when you say tan 135, you should be able to get a negative 1 without using a calculator. Then our second last one is that's our part 11. So for part 11, what we have is that is tan 103 degrees minus this is tan 58 degrees there. Then that will be over 1 plus what tan, then this will be 3 degrees, then tan 58 degrees. That's what we have. So for this is simple now. This will be A, this will be B. So this means that we have tan open 103 degrees. Since we are subtracting even here, we say 58 degrees. So now we're going to say 103. Remember, we're not using a calculator. Minus, we get a 1 there, 9 there. So you have 13 minus 8. We have a 5. The 9 minus 5, that's a 4. So now we have what? 45 there. So we know that tan 45 is the opposite over what? Adjacent, which is 1 over 1, which is just a 1 there. So that becomes the answer. Okay, so we proceed. Then question number 2, we have that is sine what 60 degrees, then cos what 30 degrees, plus that is cos 60 degrees, then we have sine 30 degrees. This is equal to 1. So the question says show that this is equal to 1. So how do we show? So we're going to pick our left hand what? Our left hand side. So to our left hand side, what we have now, it is sine what? That sine 60 degrees, then cos what? 30 degrees, plus that is cos what? 60 degrees. Then we have sine what? 30 degrees. So there are two ways to answer this. So I'm going to say this is A, this is B, and this is A, this is B. So meaning that we are starting with sine and we are adding. So for sine, 60 degrees, here 30 degrees. So now we have sine 60 plus 30, that's 90 degrees. So sine 90, you move to the graph for sine. So we can see that when we look at the graph for sine, we can see that sine 90, it is a 1 there. So we have a 1 as the answer. So sine 90, we have a 1. Or the other way would be we have sine what? 60, that is cos what? 30 degrees, plus this is cos what? 60 degrees, sine what? 30 degrees. We have to show that this is 1. So we know that sine 60, when you go to the right angle triangle where you have a 60, to give you root of 3 over what? Over a 2. Then cos 30 to give root of 3 as well over 2. Then plus cos 60 to give us 1 over 2. Then sine 30, it is 1 over 2 as well. So now you multiply root of 3 times root of 3, you have 3. Then that is over 2 times 2, that's a 4. Then plus 1 times 1, 1, 2 times 2, that's a 4. So the common denominator 4. 4 into 4, 1 times 3, 3. Then 4 into 4, 1 times 1, 1. So this would be 4 over 4. This is equal to a 1. So those are two ways. Then you just indicate to say hence shown.